Hey Islam people, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well and in good health. Okay, right now we're taking a look at an article on The Guardian. So it's about average private rent in the UK falls for the first time in 5 years. Now, a lot of you will probably be renting your properties in the UK if you live in the UK, and you could probably bear testament to the increases in average rents, especially if you're renting privately over the last few years and how high they've gone in many places. Okay, so let's take a look here what's going on. So it says here average private rents in the UK have fallen for the first time in 5 years. Obviously, that's a surprise because they have been going up over the previous years, as lower mortgage rates help take some of the heat out of the rental sector, data shows. So obviously, a slowdown in private rents will be beneficial for UK families. So years of above inflation increases in rents have put the squeeze on many households, but the estate against agent Hamptons said the average rent on a newly let property fell by 0.2% year on year in July. It was the first annual decline since August 2020 during the height of the COVID pandemic. Although this national figure masks wide regional variations, rents have risen in recent years owing to a combination of factors. These include demand for rental properties outstripping supply, pandemic and its fallout affecting many people's lives and work, and buy-to-let landlords passing on increases in their costs caused by high interest rates, maintenance, and so on. So after five interest rate cuts over the past year, the mortgage costs for some landlords have fallen, reducing the need to pass on further costs. Meanwhile, lower mortgage rates are basically making it easier for tenants to begin looking for their first home, first property to purchase, and demand's going further lower. Now, the figures are based on data from Canals, one of the UK's biggest estate agency groups. While they represent a silver of good news for tenants, many of whom have had to grapple with sizable increases to their housing costs, these rent falls are not yet widespread, Hampton said. Greater London continues to record the steepest declines, with rents falling by 3% year on year in July. So, the seventh consecutive month of decline and the biggest annual drop since May 2021. The falls basically in Greater London, as well as sharp slowdown in the north of England over the past year, helped push the national figure into negative territory. Rent in Wales fell on an annual basis for the third month in a row in July, while there were also falls in the northeast of England and Yorkshire and the Humber. However, rents are still rising in 7 out of 11 regions, with the East Midlands, West Midlands, and Southwest England leading the way. Despite the small annual decline, the average monthly rent for a new let of around about £1,371 remains £350 or 34% higher than it was in August 2020, 5 years ago. For sitting tenants, it's a different story. Average rents on renewed tenancies continue to rise, up 4.5% year on year in July. After 5 years of relentless rent rises, the market has paused for breath, said Anisha Beveridge, the head of research at Hamptons. But renewal rents continue to climb. Last month, the property website Rightmove, that's a popular one in the real estate industry in the UK, reported that the rental sector was continuing to cool after the pandemic frenzy. Some of this was attributed to improvements in the balance between supply and demand, with the number of available properties rent set to be 15% higher than at the same time last year. This month, Barclays said that typically housing accounts for close to a third, that's 30.8% of renters' take home pay, whereas homeowners report spending just over a quarter, around about 26.6% of their earnings on their mortgage. Hamptons also issued data that showed 1 in 5, 20% buy to let companies set up in Britain so far this year were owned by non UK national shareholders. The proportion was up 13% in 2016. Indian investors made up the largest group of non UK shareholders, followed by Nigerians, Poles, Irish nationals, and Italians. Meanwhile, Brexit has contributed to the share of non UK shareholders coming from the EU falling from 65% in 2016 to 49% in 2025, the company said. Okay, people, so you can see there that average private rents are falling in parts of Great Britain. That'll be good news for private renters and families and so on. But obviously, rents are still high, and there are a lot of issues in the private rental sector and just generally in the rental sector in the UK right now, this moment, the property scene and so on. Do let us know in the comment section below. Is this something that affects you? What do you think about this? Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Catch you in the next one.